Hi, guys. So, about 12 or 13 years ago, I was in my old house here in Beech Grove, Indiana, and I was working on our printer in our office. And this is something that, to me, happened quite often, and I think us guys can relate to this more than the women who are more controlled than us a lot of the times. So, I was working on the printer and a page had got stuck. And so I was trying to get it out. I'd followed all the different directions on the screen of open this door here, change this here, and it wasn't working. So what did I do to make it work? Out of anger, I punched it. My youngest daughter happened to be walking in. Madeline was walking in. She was much younger then. She's now 18. And I cracked the screen. And to me, this is something that helped relieve my anger. I was upset. It usually didn't work, but it's something that helped me feel better. And to this day, she'll never forget the day that I punched the printer. And I didn't think it was that impactful, but what she saw changed how I dealt with things around her. I realized she was always watching me. And so much into my point of my life before that, I would break tennis rackets. I would break golf clubs. Actually, this is so stupid. I actually punched the inside of my windshield after breaking up with a girlfriend in a junior in high school. So I've done many, many things. Sorry, Dad, about that. I don't think I ever told you the truth about that. But I've done many things about my anger. I've hence changed that much over the years, and it's so much better than what it was. But it reminded me of one of my favorite lessons I ever learned as a parent. I heard this quote a couple of years ago, and it's from Chip Ingram. And he goes, "Children learn much more what is caught than what is taught." Think about that. Children learn much more what is caught, your example, what you're doing, than what you teach them, what you tell them to do. And that's exactly what happened with my youngest daughter, Madeline. And so my point is, how do we take this point, which has really helped change my perspective on parenting, of what I teach them is the example I need to show, but how do we put that into business, in our Christian walk, and other parts of her life? And there's a few things I want to share. Thinking about business. Several years ago, I had a manager who would tell you, don't talk about other teammates, or about other people that you work with. That's not professional to do. Yet sometime I would be riding in the car with them, and all of a sudden they would start bashing one of the other employees on our team if they're not doing it, thinking, okay, this is a confidential thing. I'll tell you, but I'm not going to tell them. They need to get doing better here and all that. And I thought, if he's telling me this about them behind their back, what's stopping him from doing that to them about me behind my back? And so this is something that he would tell us, one thing about not doing this for other people, yet I would see him showing this example, and I was learning of what he shared. Or what about our Christian walk? What about times in our church that we're telling people, this is what I believe in? We are to love others as Jesus loved us, yet we're not showing that. One of the greatest commandments is love God with all your heart, and Jesus said, just as important, love others as yourself. You see, I've heard this phrase many times, that people see the church of more of what they're against than what they're for. Yes, there's truth that's important to go along with the grace, but are we showing them what we're truly for and what Christ taught in our lives? I don't think we often do. And what about our life in general? I think a good example, in fact, this was brought up in our Sunday school class this morning, and it's a great point and something I really need to work on, and that is, what about our cell phones? How many times are we telling our kids, don't you spend so much time online? Why are you spending so much time on social media? And then all of a sudden you're getting on Facebook, you're getting on your email. And I would justify this in my mind. I would say, okay, it's okay because I'm doing work. I'm emailing something. I'm sending a text to somebody that's important for business-wise. And often that's the case. But so often I'm looking at Twitter, checking the latest sports scores, or checking the latest article, or doing this or that. And I would get caught into them telling them this, but then they're following my examples. How many times should I just put the phone down and been face to face? So this is something I think we can always already learn from, or we can always learn from, but it's something that we all need to get better in. It reminds me of something that was in scriptures in 1 Peter chapter 5. Peter was one of Jesus' closest disciples, and he's one who actually started the church movement after the death of Christ. And he says in chapter 5, verse 1, he says, "To the elders among you, I appeal as a fellow elder and as a witness of Christ's suffering, who also will share in the glory to be revealed. Be shepherds of God's flock that is under your care, watching over those or over them, not because you must, but because you are willing as God wants you to be, not pursuing dishonest gain, but eager to serve, not lording it over those entrusted to you, but being an example of the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, he will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away." And the point about this I want you to understand is when it says, not lording over it those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. That's what Peter is telling the elders of the churches all over at the time. He was telling them, we need to be examples of what we do. So this is something that was taught so many centuries ago that is so important in our lives. And so that's the challenge I give you today. Remember that people around you, whether employees under you, whether it's your children, people that you influence over, are going to learn so much more of what is caught than what is taught. I have so much more to learn on this, but I hope this helps. Have a great day.